Wednesday, the 22nd of January 2025. You're welcome back. It's overcast. It's very calm here. The windmill turbines are stopped completely, and a little bit of drops of water in the air. Now, following on from yesterday's video, new calf. My calf is in good order, little heifer calf, and she has lifted her tail and left a trail, which means she's getting a suck of the mother. So all's going well there so far. My father always told me it's unlucky to praise. It is a really good cow, but to praise your livestock, it's not lucky. And I touch wood, say that it's not lucky to praise them. You shouldn't go in. I have the best cattle, and you should never do that. Anyway, that's what he said, and I won't do it either. I'm very happy to have the little calf anyway. So the thing is that, well, I spoke about Trump and all that yesterday. Now, one of the things he's done, he's pulled out of the Paris Climate Accord, and I don't know, will that trigger YouTube to put up a thing about the what climate is and all of that. I think that's a bit dated. I don't know how they're going to continue with that. I have said nothing, only a fact, and I don't think they can ban me on that. And that'll tell you the eggshells I have to walk on to make these videos. The other thing he's done is he's pulled out of the World Health Organization, and he's quoting that America pays 200, is it million into it, or billion, $200 million, I think, a year. But anyway, China only pays 39. And there's talk going around that the World Health Organization offered Biden to pay 39 as well, but that Biden said, no, I'll pay the full 200 million. Now, it's hardly billion, I'd say it's million. Anyway, I'm not prepared for my video, but please understand the circumstances. But anyway, he's pulled out of the World Health Organization. I don't think YouTube can ban me for that, because I'm only stating the facts. Take it up with Donald Trump if you have a problem, YouTube. That's all I can say to you. So that's another thing. He signed an order cutting out all the unnecessary regulations. They're not allowed to make any regulations. And he's always said he'll bring about a situation when they make one regulation, they'll have to do away with two. So that's the situation. Now, here at home in Ireland, as far as I know, there's no government formed yet. I don't look at RTE or any of that, but I have a person just rang me there now to say that RTE is on all morning giving out about Trump and what they're going to do. And the World Economic Forum is now meeting in Davos. Now, I'm very limited in what I can say about the powers that's been taught up for various things. I'm very limited. I'll do that on Rumble in due course. But in any event, the meeting's on in Davos, and I'd say the half of the nobbledy bobbledies in Ireland has gone over to it. And away they go, and probably Starmer and all the rest. But the bottom line is, Trump has dealt a serious blow to the whole globalist agenda. He doesn't believe in it at all, and neither do I. And you can see when you see that, how that puts me and him on the one course. But I don't know, in Ireland, do a lot of people know, but a lot of people tell me that a lot of this is all a scam, and it's all a big racket, and that it's a dangerous racket from the point of view of our freedom. Now, what RTE is at again now is, they're on that he'll be a lame duck president in 2 years. In 2 years' time, there'll be interim elections for the Senate and the House, and that the people of America will vote overwhelmingly to restore the Democratic Party to the power in the House of Representatives and in the old Senate. That is the type of wishful thinking they have. They're clutching at straws. Why people who have voted Trump would go back and vote the Dems, I do not quite see that. The other thing is that in California, they have got a taste of full democratic rule by that one Mayor Bass, and also Gavin Newsom, all Democrats, and they see no water in the hydrants. And they may turn around and say, well, sure, if that's all they can do for us, we were as well with the Republicans. So if California changed to being more Republican, you could see actually the houses of Congress actually increasing for the Republican side. I'm only saying that, but it shows you how desperate the RT is, propped up by taxpayers' money. Now, it's not to say that they have no mandate, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin love them, love them, love them. They have a deep, unabiding love. And when these women come on, these woke women come on RTE, and they give us the South Dublin accent, and we reduce that and that. I mean, they get so big in their shoes. But that's paddy whackery, and that's paddy whackery, and that won't cut too far afield. He has told Zelensky, who's over at the World Economic Forum in Davos this weather, he's told Zelensky to go and make peace with Russia. And it looks to me like his angle is telling us to go on over there and fix it out there somewhere and see what you can do. And a very sensible approach. I'd say he'll let a little bit of money go to the Ukraine for a while, but I'd say it'll trickle back to nothing. And this puts the Europe, as I said before, in a terrible situation. They have no money, their whole thing is collapsing around them, and they have to send all the way to Ukraine. And in parts of Europe, that could trigger a Trump-like voting pattern. Not in Ireland. In Ireland, they're going to vote for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin until they die. And they're going to instill in their children a yearning to do the same. They'll hear nothing from the table until while they're being brought up from the cradle to the grave. I knew of a case where a woman and man were married. She'd be about 55 now. And whatever broke out between the two of them, I don't know. But I know that the woman was into dancing and had a jolly kind of a woman, and a working woman, worked in a shop. Not say where, it's not in my area, not in County Cavan, Monaghan, anyway, that's for sure. But they fell out anyway, and they had 3 boys, and the husband was dying of cancer. He contracted cancer, and he was dying, and he brought in the 3 children, and he made them swear before he died that they'd never speak to their mother. That happened. And only one of them speaks to her to this day. And he's dead easily 15 years. Isn't that some dysfunction? Not some legacy to leave your kids. So this is what is being done with the people around you. And Cavan Monaghan is particularly bad. It's particularly welded into them in Cavan Monaghan. But now up in Meath is not much better, as we said. I'm only telling you that's what people do, and I don't have much hope, but that doesn't mean that in other areas, particularly down the south and all over Dublin and Wexford and Wicklow and down there, it won't change a bit. I'd say the main parties will lose a little bit there. But they're not voting for what they call the right-wing party. They're not voting for the Irish Freedom Party, which is quite a moderate right-of-centre party. Meanwhile, the EU is crumbling. I don't know where the money is going to come from to pay all the grants and things that the farmers get, and I get, but I don't care where it comes from. Pull it out of them and let them go to hell is my attitude. Let them. They've ruined their economy. They've shut down all the power stations. Spain is shutting down nuclear power stations, I understand, and they're at this destroying their energy. Trump, it was reported, I got a call this morning to tell me that Trump is opening data centers in Texas. He's going to start a data center hub in Texas. And there's a lot of regulation about having your own power station around the data center. So while I'm open to correction on this, folks, he is apparently going to have a big area of data centers in Texas, and it's going to be powered by independent power generation. And he signed the executive order already for that. And that means that you could have a specialized power station here running on gas and frack gas and all that, and no windmills at all, no wind turbines at all, and they're going to be able to produce very cheap energy there to run their data centers. That might not do well for Ireland, because Ireland has among the most expensive electricity in the world. It has to pay for a double system, the renewable system, which doesn't work, and the fossil fuel system, which does, and the fossil fuel system has to supply power to the renewable wind and solar energy. So that's anonymous trend there. I don't know how that will prop up. A lot of the German industries has gone, but there is a big incentive now for industry in Europe to move to America. And in many ways, maybe you couldn't blame them. It could be a good place. The danger is, of course, with America is that it could go back to be Democrat. I cannot guarantee you. You won't control how people vote. There's none so queer as folks, as they say. It's very hard to predict. I think they won't. In other words, what I'm saying is that Trump will build it up, fantastic economy, everyone flying, great, great. And he said that he'll bring in legal migrants to help to run the economy. And I am sick and tired on online and dealing with people who will not accept that there is a big difference between a proper legal migrant, which we had in this country for years, and an illegal migrant. Some people are arguing with me, there's no difference, they're all migrants. Now, I'll let you comment underneath, and I'd be delighted to hear your comments. I was all for, in the last election, bringing in legal migrants. If they're wanted and the economy needs them, bring them in. If they're not, don't bring them in. And that's different from people arriving here in airplanes and throwing their passports in the toilet and then be camping out in tents along the canal in Dublin. Let me know your views on that point, because there are a lot of people in Ireland who will not believe there's a difference in legal and illegal migration. One is controlled. Legal migration is controlled based on the needs of the country, whereas illegal migration is controlled by people abroad, including the migrants themselves. Maybe their governments are emptying out their prisons out here. We don't know. One of the things that's going to happen now with Trump, you'll see no migration coming in across the border with Mexico or Canada. And he'll tariff them, he'll sanction them till they stop it. And that's going to mean they're going to look for somewhere else. And Ireland has open arms. Roderick O'Gorman got re-elected, unfortunately, the Green TD, and he has been circulating around Africa to come to Ireland. So this is the situation we have, but we have a ray of hope, and the general view among decent people is that there is a ray of hope now in the world, because people are going to see that you have on one side the wokes, Irish, British, French, German, EU Commission, the wokes. You have on the other side Trump. And as people see the results of Trump, him doing what is considered unthinkable, stopping sending billions abroad while people have nothing at home, and flood and hurricane and fire victims get nothing. €700 if your house burns down. The Californian state was sending fire equipment to Ukraine. So you're going to see that now changing. We have a kingpin to bring about this change, and that's going to mean that there'll be that segment of votes that will leave the woke agenda. There'll be no wokeism, there'll be no men and women's sports in the next Olympics. That will be only in Europe. And the fact that the next Olympics are in the United States, in Los Angeles, means that the wokes have no way to promote their men boxing women and knocking out their teeth. In a recent bout between a man and a woman boxing, the man knocked the woman's teeth out somewhere. I was told that this morning by somebody who's in with the news. Knocked all her front teeth out. And there are people in our Irish and our British community who see nothing wrong with that. They see nothing wrong with it. My function is to tell people there is something wrong with it. In a rather rational way, it is not right to do something like that. And it shows you how depraved these people have gone, and why it is so necessary to combat them and face them down. RTE will now soon be in an echo chamber. There'll be nobody listening to them. Because even the most dyed-in-the-wool Fianna Fáil supporter and Fine Gael supporter, and maybe even Sinn Féin, there's a good segment of those who do not believe boys should be told they're girls. You should be putting girls' sanitary equipment in a boy's toilet. You should be having all this promotion of LGBTQ in the military, in the forces, in the police, and all of this. That you should dismiss people from the military for not having certain substances taken into their body. There's a lot of people who don't agree with that. And you're talking about whittling them away from the other side. Unfortunately, even in Britain, I don't see Reform UK winning the next election. I think it's just going to descend into chaos. And that could be the curse of the Irish on them. There's something about Britain that is destroying Britain. It's not just Starmer. I mean, he has a lot of MPs who support him in government and the Labour Party. And when the Tories were in power, they were no better. No better. So they have managed, through the system that operates in Europe, to cheat this way. Now, in Romania, there was a person on my side of the aisle got elected. I know I met a woman from Romania working here that voted for him. And they have cancelled the election because they're alleging all types of impropriety and because he's too right-wing. He's totally anti-Europe, he's totally on my side, and he's totally anti the Greens and all that. So they're thinking about holding another election. So what kind of a democracy is it in Romania where you can call off the result of the election because you don't like the candidate that was picked? And in the Lisbon Treaty referendum in Ireland, the people voted no to Europe and they insisted on bringing it back again. Starmer has recommended Peter Mandelson as the UK ambassador, the United Kingdom ambassador to the United States. And my advice to Donald Trump is don't let him in at all. Or if he does get the job, freeze him out. This fella is the fella that created the second referendum in Ireland, who came on RTE and criticised the Irish government for not fighting in favour of Europe better. He got a big job in Europe. I presume it's gone now with Brexit. But he's back in and he wants this ambassador's job. I hope he doesn't get it. But if he does get it, it's going to be great fun because he's going to be frozen out. He won't be let go anywhere over there because he's the enemy of what Trump is fighting for. So that's the story generally. They're seeing can they ban the alternative for Deutschland in Germany from standing in the February elections. I don't think they will. They could form a coalition government with the centre right there, and that might give us some hope. I just saw in a bit of news the other day that China is buying out some of the European car manufacturers. Don't hold me on that. I'm sorry if I do have it, but I saw it on a clip. I hadn't time to read it. You could end up BYD owning Volkswagen. And I see too something I haven't seen before: Chinese cars being advertised in the media and saying they're good. And when we went to Italy, we had a Chinese car. It was something D or something, BD or something, and it was a good car, a petrol car. So the Chinese are slipping it in that they're only making electric cars, but I think they're making the ordinary petrol and diesel cars too. Before too long, we'll be all driving Chinese cars and vans around the place. That's what happens when you cripple an economy with stupidity. Folks, comment underneath. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. That's 17 minutes. That's long enough. Anyway, he's signing away. He has a big stack of executive orders. And he holds the pen up and he signs it. And he's throwing the whole baby bathwater and all out. It is unbelievable fun. Bye, and we'll see you back soon. And comment underneath. And please keep your comments rational. It must be rational. It's not enough to say you're wrong on such a thing. You have to say why. Okay? It's getting stupid in that way. And I repeat just a little point I'm making. I'm seeing on social media and on commentators this argument that there's no difference between uncontrolled and controlled migration. I'd like to hear your views. I believe there is a huge difference in controlled migration and uncontrolled migration, and Trump supports controlled migration and not uncontrolled migration. See you back. Thank you. Bye.